Welcome to yet another ham radio video. This is Jay, KQ4DUX. Today we're going to do something new, something for the first time. I'm deploying a wire antenna. Like I said in other videos, I am a beginner. This is part of the journey of the channel, is as I learn and do new things to document that, see what works, see what didn't. So if you're new to ham radio, maybe you don't know, but a lot of people build their own antennas, and maybe one of the most simple one is just a basic wire antenna. So I'm going to be doing that today. I've got 2 wires cut for 20 meters, and we're also going to do a deployment method, which I'll show you right here. So I used this in another video. I didn't have footage of actually launching it, but what I've used a couple of times is a combination of a tennis ball and a fishing rod and reel. So what I like about this, obviously it's high visibility. Tennis balls are very inexpensive. I think I paid less than $2 for 3 of them. So if it doesn't work out, no big loss there. And I could think of a few different ways you could do it with the rod like this, or you could do one of those launchers that people like to play with their dogs with and launch the balls. And you also, since I will be cutting this to put the rope and the line from the reel, since I'll be cutting it, you potentially could take this and fill it up with sand or something like that to get some more weight to it. It may be more effective that way. But what my plan is I've got some paracord here. I've already got it attached to my wire antenna, and I'm gonna cut the camera and get this all rigged up, and then we'll see how easy it is. Here's the victim right here, just trying this out at home. This is a place I used to deploy my dipole antenna, but this limb right here is, I want to say maybe mid-20s, 26, 28 feet, something like that. So that's just about the perfect height. Something not too high, not too difficult, so I could test this thing out and see how it does. Back in a sec. Alright, well, let's give it a shot and see how things go. I've got the tennis ball connected. I am using a heavy rod. This is my catfish rod, and the reel and rod are equipped to throw something of this weight. It's fairly stiff, so let's just see how it goes. There you have it. I got it first try. So at this point, what I'm going to do is tie the rope end to the ball. Bear with me as I grab the camera, but so one thing I like about this system, that rubber ball does a couple of different things. It acts as a bumper, so when it goes up over the limb, it'll pop it out away from the limb, so hopefully the rope will not snag and get caught in the limb when you're trying to pop it over. The other thing about that ball is, excuse me, back in the old days, I mean the last century, yes, the 1900s, I am that old. Before modern equipment, when we were farming, you get a 50,000-pound truck stuck in the mud. A lot of times the chains would break because they couldn't take the shock if you didn't pull them real gentle. But we used to take an old truck tire and connect 2 chains with the truck tire in between, and when the 2 would pull, it would squish, it would stretch. And you'd be amazed how much that tire could take without ripping, but a little bit of the same effect. It'll pop out from the limb, and it probably will provide a little bit of stretch too if you're really getting a bind. So what I did with this, I cut a hole. I don't know if you can see the daylight through there. You don't want to cut it too big, but and then also when I tied my fishing line, I purposely tied a knot that will pull out. So if I did get it snagged, I want that to pull eventually to pull out so I don't get it stuck in the tree. Well, set the camera down, we'll get it hooked up and see what we can do. All right, here we go. Let's bring it over. Crank in the big one. It'll pop over the tree. Don't ask me how I have such good experiences of getting things out of trees connected to fishing line, but let's just say I have some experience. And we got the antenna going up, the rope's coming down. Continue to pull it. Alright. Now I see we got a little banana clip thing here. It's a few feet off the ground. I'm going to find something to tie this off to, and we'll hook it up on the meter and see how it looks. Well, here's the finished product. It did take me some time to get this thing to where it was usable. I would say 20 minutes. What I ended up having to do was to shorten both of these. So I cut these right on the length that the chart said, but for whatever reason this application it has shortened both ends. So on this end I just twisted it around. On the top end I just folded the end over and put a zip tie and wrapped it up. So you know, this is probably 5-6 feet off the ground. Take a look here at the stick 230 CW portion, looking good at 1.21, 255 in the voice portion, 1.24. So doing pretty good. Overall, pretty happy with this. The tennis ball punched through first try. Definitely will be doing that. I never had the best throwing arm, and I had a couple of shoulder injuries along the way, so throwing something just wasn't working too well. Here's another little trick. You probably got this on the back of your vehicle anyhow. That does a pretty good job of holding with that tennis ball. I don't have to tie any knots or anything. And slide it around, move it wherever you want to go. Maybe we'll get this thing on the air and see what she can do. You have watched yet another ham radio video. This is JKQ4DUX. Thanks for watching, and look for this picture in part 2 when we get out in the field and test how this thing works. Thanks everybody. 7-3.